Back on CBS Sports HQ as we take a look at the movement in the NFC playoff picture. 3 weeks to play and so much to sort. Here's what we do know. Hats and T-shirts already belong to the 49ers as they clinched the West with their win on Sunday. The Cowboys jumping back into the 2 seed by way of the tiebreaker, 10-4, both the Cowboys and the Eagles. Don't forget, the NFC East has not been won by its past winner, so a repeat winner in 18 seasons. We've got a different division crown every season for 18 seasons, and do not forget, last season, that belonged to Philadelphia. Maybe history repeats itself or doesn't repeat itself, and we get a Cowboys division title that will be sorted here in the next 3 weeks, but plenty to delve into right now. Let's start with the Eagles and those playoff hopes, because not long ago, we were looking at the potential 1 seed going into that matchup with the 49ers. We got a clear answer that they likely were not going to be the 1 seed, but since then, they have slid so far, B-Mac. What is the concern level right now with the Philadelphia Eagles? Going to be a playoff team, got to get the momentum turned around before they get there, but likely going to have to play some road football when it does come tournament time.
They should be concerned. They should be concerned for a few reasons. Number one, the quarterback has not lived up to the billing based on how well he played last year, Jalen Hurts. And then when you factor in some of the other teams in the playoff conversation that we believe could make a deep, significant run, their quarterbacks are all playing better football. Right? Brock Purdy is playing better football than Jalen Hurts. Dak Prescott is playing better football than Jalen Hurts. I mean, Baker Mayfield is playing better football than Jalen Hurts. And you might look at me and cringe a little bit when I say that, but look at the numbers. Watch the film. Right? When you talk about having a quarterback that is in the top of the league in turnovers, that's not a good stat to lead the league in. And that's what we're seeing. Then also, too, Ryan, Joe, they're dealing with injuries. They're dealing with injuries to an average defense already. And when you factor in some of the guys that are starters not in the lineup, they become a below average group. And proof is in the pudding based on what we saw tonight, especially in the fourth quarter against a backup quarterback in Drew Lock. So those are the concerns that I have, and hopefully they can find a way to correct their wrongs, starting with the quarterback and being cleaner with the football and getting healthy, because if they do not, yes, what we saw tonight will be a reoccurring thing for them, especially when they play against teams in the postseason. And if you factor in where they're currently located in the playoff seed, they will have to travel to Tampa. But if you don't protect the football, it doesn't matter where you travel or who you're playing against, it's going to be difficult for you to win ball games.
I just want to tip pass some of those thoughts right to you here, Ryan, specifically the portion of personnel. This Eagles personnel group, still impressive. Yes, dinged up and dealing with some issues, but your confidence level that they can get this turned in time to make some real noise in the playoffs.
Oh, we're putting this personnel grouping on the offensive side of the ball up against anyone. And that starts with the offensive line to the skill position player to the running back, and as B-Mac notes, the quarterback. And something I was thinking about while B-Mac was talking and while we were in the break and I was perusing Meltdown Eagles Twitter, and I think a big part of this that we're not talking about is Shane Steichen, who's now the head coach in Indianapolis, the offensive coordinator, who was with Jalen Hurts, and they had so much success together. And this is not to take anything away from Jalen Hurts, but he is still a young football player. And B-Mac was going down the list of NFC quarterbacks who are going to be in the playoffs. And let me read this to you. Kyle Shanahan, he's pretty good at calling plays. Even Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott have something working. Ben Johnson and Jared Goff, Dave Canales and Baker Mayfield, who B-Mac mentioned was playing at a pretty high level right now. KOC, Kevin O'Connell, and whoever the quarterback is in Minnesota, he's gotten the most out of that turnip in terms of squeezing the blood there. And Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. And then you come to Brian Johnson, first-year OC, who has done some good things, but it doesn't look like last year's team. And I think that's the starting point for the conversation. How can we make this year look like last year without a time machine? Because otherwise, I think B-Mac's exactly right. This is going to be a rough patch, and it's not going to solve itself anytime soon.
And we are on the clock. Yeah, B-Mac.
You heard some of the quarterbacks that he mentioned. Also, you know, the Jared Goffs of the world and other guys, they're all playing better football. And if you want to have success in the playoffs, it starts with your quarterback. You don't need your quarterback to play hero-like football, but you need your quarterback to be smart with the football. And that's been an issue with them from what we witnessed a year ago. So we know Jalen Hurts is a superior light player at the quarterback position. Granted, tonight he's dealing with an injuries and not feeling well. But as Ryan mentioned, when you step on the football field, no one cares about what you were going through. They expect for you to go out and deliver the goods. And he didn't deliver goods tonight. The last 2 ball games, he did not deliver the goods. And there's something going on. Maybe the new OC, as you mentioned, Ryan, is playing a big part in what we're not seeing, what we thought we would see. And it takes some time, but it's December football. Right, you should be acclimated to the new regime offensively for you to be able to be successful and live up to the expectations that the Eagles fans have. And you bet, oh my goodness, I forgot about that. The liquor stores are filled up right now, Phil.
Well, the flip side of that quarterback coin, B-Mac, lives on the opposite sideline in this one. I mean, it's Red Sharpie season. We are getting ready to cross names off, and we were going to put the Red Sharpie to the Seahawks more or less following a loss here tonight.
I thought we were.
That all changed inside 2 minutes thanks to the backup quarterback and the play that we saw out of Drew Lock specifically. This ball down the field to DK Metcalf, and then a ball down that same sideline to Jackson Smith and Jigba to put the team ahead. Ryan, I'm going to come your way first here. There are moments that define seasons, and looking back, this could be one for the Seattle Seahawks. How do they take this, move forward, and build into 3 winnable ball games?
Well, I'm going to turn the question back on you, Joe. What do you say about momentum?
It's a real thing. I mean, some people do not believe in it. I am a firm believer. Now let's pick that apart here. Momentum belongs to the team, but the quarterback likely to change at some point in these 3 weeks as well, Ryan.
No, that's right. And I think this is a great showing by Drew Lock. He'll remember this for the rest of his life. 2 great throws on that final drive, 2 bombs to DK and 1 to JSN there to get the touchdown. But this is Geno Smith's team. And if Geno Smith now has an extra week to get healthy, he didn't have to play in these conditions. In retrospect, Pete Carroll did the right thing, even though in the moment you weren't sure because you needed this game. He gets another week to get healthy. Their schedule eases up just a little bit. And I think this team is poised to make a run. We saw what the running game can do when they get going. They're getting guys healthy. The defensive line is flashing a little bit. Leonard Williams turns out to be a great trade. We forgot about that since it happened in late October. Boya Mafe has been coming on strong this season as an edge rusher. You're going to get Devin Witherspoon back, who was out this game. You're going to get Jamal Adams back, who was out this game. I'm telling you, you don't want to face this team in the playoffs, and you don't want to make Eugene Cyril Smith III angry.
And we saw flickers of a run game that can carry you into these months as well, B-Mac.
That's the key. If they can run the football like they did tonight, they're a much better offense. You go back and look at the success they had last year. A lot of their success had to do with Geno Smith throwing the football around the yard, but also the running ability of Kenneth Walker, and that's what we saw tonight. If he can go ahead and continue to do what he was doing, the offensive lineman paving a way for him, this offense has balance. And as you mentioned, when you look at currently before winning tonight, they were in a 4-game losing streak, right? They lost 2 to San Francisco, right? They lost 1, a close one to Dallas, right? 41-35. They lost a close 1-point game to the Los Angeles Rams. Those are competitive losses, in my opinion. San Francisco was the best team in the NFL, and you were on the road against Dallas, and you surprised a lot of naysayers with the points you put up against that defense, led by DK Metcalf. Now, if you factor in trying to finish out this 3-game stretch, being 3-0, a lot of that has to do with Geno Smith getting healthy and also taking care of the teams you're supposed to take care of. Tennessee Titans for such a long time, Ryan, I used to always say they're an in-the-way team. Right now, they're not even that. They're just ready to get to the offseason. They would like to be pushed to the offseason if that could happen.
They got the red Sharpie already.
Yes, the red Sharpie is there. So for Seattle, you will find a way to win this ball game with or without Geno. Great job by Pete Carroll deciding to rest his quarterback, because maybe that was the extra week that extra game that he needed to be healthy or healthier. But whatever happens with Geno or not, whoever the quarterback is, you got to find a way to win. And then, of course, you get Pittsburgh at home, and the final game is against Arizona with all of their U-Haul trucks packed.
You're just glossing over the Pittsburgh matchup.
I just said Pittsburgh at home. That's all I said.
Glossing over
there was nothing else needed to be said. You just get Pittsburgh at home. We don't know what happens. That's all I said.
If they have any say in it and the momentum to carry, this 55% chance to make the playoffs will only grow. It grew in those final minute and 30-some seconds with Drew Lock leading a drive. As for the Eagles, just the second team in NFL history to lose 3 straight following a 10-1 start, joining the 1986 Jets, whose season came to a close in the divisional round. Gentlemen, we appreciate the exploration as always, but there is more road to travel. 3 more weeks with us right here on CBS Sports HQ as we give you one more glimpse into the future with the NFC playoff picture.